Corporate risk calculations usually stop at the ransom note or regulatory fine. In reality, the closed sign creates the biggest hole in the balance sheet. Verizon's 2026 breach impact study confirms this. After analyzing actual insurance payouts, the data reveals that operational downtime is the most expensive consequence of a breach. Cybersecurity budgets are heavily weighted towards fighting the initial fire, leaving organizations exposed to the costs of the prolonged closure that follows. The breach impact study moves past self-reported surveys to analyze 70,000 real U.S. cyber insurance claims. It tracks approximately 38,000 incidents where insurers cut checks to cover actual losses. This chart shows the distribution of economic impact over time. Looking at the exact payouts, the median cost of a breach jumped from roughly $61,000 in 2019 to $110,000 in 2024. That represents an 80% increase in median impact. Over that exact same period, U.S. economic inflation rose by only 23%. Cyber breaches are getting expensive at more than 3 times the rate of inflation. The damage inflicted by threat actors is compounding rapidly year over year. The study categorizes where payouts actually go. Number 3 is response and recovery. Number 2 is direct loss to the threat actor. But the single largest driver is business interruption, accounting for 32% of losses, with a median cost of $90,000. At the same time, the actual median ransom payment has declined, and 69% of ransomware victims in the dataset chose not to pay at all. Over a century ago, insurers noticed a strange pattern. When a commercial fire destroyed a shop, the merchant could usually afford the physical rebuild, but they went bankrupt anyway because they had zero income during the months they were shut. That specific gap in survival is what prompted the creation of business interruption insurance. The insurance industry figured this out in the 1800s, and the data proves it applies directly to modern digital networks. The closure, not the initial disaster, determines whether the business survives. Corporate boards need to adjust their risk models. Over-indexing on the ransom while ignoring downtime guarantees a massive financial blind spot. Capital allocation must prioritize speed of restoration. That requires investing in tight recovery time objectives and immutable backups that attackers cannot touch. True cyber resilience requires treating downtime as the primary driver of breach costs and building the infrastructure necessary to keep the business running.